Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Care Connection webinar. I am so happy to see all of you here today. My name is Laurel Gumpert, and I'm the Educational Program Coordinator here at the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. And thank you for taking the time to hang out with AFA today. We're going to have a very fun special care connection today. But before we get into it, I'd just like to go over a few things. All lines are currently muted. However, here at Care Connections, we love questions. So please feel free to utilize the question box on the right-hand side of your screen and type in any questions or comments that you may have. And we're going to have some time at the end of this to go over any of your questions. Any questions that we don't get to, we're going to have our guest speakers information at the end, as well as, of course, all of AFA's contact information. So if you ever need anything, you know how to find us. So moving on, as I mentioned, this is a very special Care Connection, as this is our second already in the month of April, and we're celebrating Move More Month. So April is National Move More Month, so there is not a better person that I can think to be doing the Care Connection today. So let me introduce you to our speaker. Here today we have Karen Peterson, who has been teaching for 50 years, specifically teaching senior citizens for 28 years. In 2000, she created her Giving Back, a nonprofit organization with intergenerational mentoring programs. She also created the award-winning Move with Balance, where active elders are paired with frailer elders to participate in sensory integrative movements together. Move with Balance won the 2012 MetLife Mind Alert Award from both the American Society on Aging, along with many other awards. In 2013, she published her book, Move with Balance, Healthy Aging Activities for Brain and Body, which is now translated into Spanish. Karen is a certified kinesiologist, a certified natural vision improvement instructor, a vision therapist, a certified touch for health instructor, and a certified massage therapist. So she does a lot. So with that, I'm very happy to introduce you all to Karen Peterson. Over the past couple of months, we've had a blast speaking with each other, so I'm sure you all are going to enjoy yourself as much as I have.
Right on top of your day.
So thank you so much, Laurel. I'm glad to be here with everybody. And Laurel mentioned how I started giving back. In the year 2000, I was teaching senior citizens, and I noticed, I was actually getting older myself, and I noticed how much fun I had with them. So I said to myself, well, I can't believe how our society discards and puts seniors out to pasture, and I've got to create something where they're integrated back into the community. So I named the nonprofit Giving Back, and it's a chance for elders to give back in their communities. So I knew there's all these different activities and things. So I created a little training where I trained the senior citizens, fit senior citizens, and then I paired them with children, and they were mentors to the children. We went into the schools. Then I was approached, would this program ever work for elders? You know, the mentors would work with frail elders. So I said, sure. So we started going into assisted living and different places like that. And I took the mentors in there. And the reason I like that so much, I think that if I'm just the teacher and there's a group out there, people can pretend like they're doing the exercises and not really do them because I can't see everyone. But if they have a special partner, their mentor, they get to know each other, and often they even see each other out of class, and the mentor helps individualize the activities for the mentee. Now, you really don't have to have mentors. It's more work to create the mentors and do a training, but it's just so much fun. But I've taught it without mentors, just to a group, so that's good too. interested in intergenerational relationships just because of my close relationship with my grandmother. So I knew it was really good to have cross-generational activities together. And I was interested in healthy aging. Next slide, please. So these are some of the places where I have done Move with Balance. There's a long list here. I'm not going to read each and every one, but like assisted living, adult daycare centers, nursing homes, congregate meal sites. That's the federal program, the lunch program that they have for seniors, housing sites, just all kinds of places. Almost anywhere where there are senior citizens, you could slip in some of these activities. And also, you could do this program as a group leader. Many, many people have done that. You could do it as a caregiver, a professional caregiver, or just a family caregiver. And then you could do it just as an individual senior citizen. I think it's kind of a little more fun to invite a group of friends over and do it together, because then you can, it's like having mentors for each other. So anyway, that's where I do it and who can do it. Next, please. These are some of the goals for Move with Balance. We want to increase social support and self-efficacy, preserve and strengthen physical and mental abilities, improve cognitive skills, and reduce falls and fall-related injuries. Next, please. So these are some of the positive things that happen with the mentor-mentee connection. It motivates the mentee. They feel supported. They feel more safe when there's someone right there with them. It's a lot of fun, and they form friendships. Next, please. So these exercises are very innovative in that they are a synergy of cognitive training, perceptual training, strength training, and balance training. Next, please. I'll explain that more. Okay, so a lot of they're so innovative, the activities are, and a lot of the stuff in the group, or if you with your mentor, you can do things with reaction time, different clapping games where they have to keep in rhythm and even shake a shaker and do everything exactly at the right time. So that keeps them on their toes. I want their two eyes to work together, which is called binocular teaming. Because if you get good depth perception if your two eyes are working together, and often people don't even know that their two eyes aren't working together. The progressive challenge, that means that if somebody's already good at the exercise, we make it harder. So when you come to the class, don't expect to be great at everything. In fact, if you are, that's not how I want to do it. I want you to be learning something new every class. And that's why we do the progressive challenge. Keep challenging you if you're good at it. We also work on spatial awareness. Where am I in space? Where is my body? A lot of people really don't even know that. And that's something that they can feel and experience from these activities. We do exercises to integrate the right and left hemispheres of the brain, and we'll do one today, so I'm not going to go into this one too much now. And sensory integration. So even while you're doing the exercises, I might have you have to talk to me about something. So you're then using your speech. Then maybe I'm going to have you hearing, but you have to hear while you're doing an exercise. Maybe I'll ask you to read something somewhere while you're doing an exercise. So you have to, it's more like creating the exercises that would really occur in your life. So then you get good at it, familiar with it, and then when you're out in the real world, your body reacts and you can take care of yourself. Next, please. So these are some of the benefits. Improved focus and concentration. Coordination and balance skills improve. You get confidence and you get rid of fear of falling because you start to feel, I can do this. Everything is really lighthearted, fun, and playful. With the mentors, loving relationships are created and your overall well-being improves. Next, please. This is a little clip from Dr. Lauren Pang, who is the Director of Health, Public Health on Maui. And he loves the program and was so interested in it and did several evaluations. And this is him talking about the program.
We came in,
As has the program. Now we're going to hear from Dr. Pang. He will discuss the evidence-based evaluation published in the Hawaii Journal of Medicine and Public Health.
okay, we came into this project, we being the Department of Health, as kind of an impartial observer to analyze the result. We were always responsible for whatever we do. We either know how good it is or bad it is, or we don't know and we're responsible for figuring it out. So this one, we weren't sure how it would come out in the elderly. We did a very important study when Karen was doing the project, and we simply looked at people exercising, compared them to randomized controls who weren't exercising, same target group, elderly in institutional settings, and we found that it reduced the falls by 66%. That's what they call efficacy. Now, a lot of people get confused because there's not too many effective programs. And sometimes a program will reduce the falls to 66%. This one actually reduced it by 66%. So you end up with about a third the falls that you would have had. So we compared it to a control group, and essentially that's what we saw. This study wasn't so big, but when you get such a big effect, the observation is what the scientists call statistically significant. That's the fourth line. So this is quite impressive to ourselves because the effect is so big that you can see it in a small study. That this is
Okay, so now let's get on with doing some of the activities. So what I want to mention here is because I can't see anybody, I don't know even anybody's ability. So everybody be very careful. Don't overdo anything because some of the stuff is going to be balanced, and just take everything slow. You can sit down or you can stand and do the activities. So be safe. The other thing I want to mention is breathing. I want you to breathe through all the activities because lots of times we tend to hold our breath when we're trying something new. But I'll keep harping on that and bringing it up during the activities. And I want you to notice, I might stop and say, notice how you're feeling, because that's the big thing that I love about this. When people do take the time to notice, you can see a change in one class. So I want you to get in the habit of noticing. Okay, let's start right in. The first one is going to be take your index finger and thumb, and I want you to massage your ears. It's a funny thing, but I want you to, especially the little curly part at the top, and I want you to do it firmly. All the acupuncture points are on the ears, so we're really stimulating the whole body. So I want you to just do this for a little while. It may hurt because your ears need it. They're a little stiff, but they soften up, and actually your listening will improve. Okay, I'm just rolling my ear, massaging like that. Okay, now let's just see how we feel from that. I feel way more alert. I feel like I've opened the energy on both sides of me a lot more. And I even feel like I'm hearing and listening better. Okay, next one. You know how, and mine is certainly one of these next, there's people have stiff, tight necks and shoulders, and the energy and oxygen does not flow well between the brain and the body, and we do want that to happen. So the next two activities I'm going to do, you'll feel a big difference. Okay, the first one is called the elephant. I'm going to stay sitting, but I'm going to stand and do it too. So all of you can stay sitting, and then we'll stand, those who can and want to. Okay, here's my first thing I'm going to do. This arm is my trunk, putting it straight up in the air, and I'm going to put my ear on it. Okay, and then from my waist, I'm moving. I'm not going like this. This is waving. See how my ear is off? I want my ear on, and then I'm going to move back and forth, and I'm going to even make some circles. Check if you're breathing. Remember, I said I was going to tell you to breathe. And now I'm going to make my circles the other way. I can look up at the tips of my fingers. That changes where the feeling, where you're getting a release in your neck. Breathe. Okay, now put your arm down. See how you feel a little crooked, because one side is just so much more open and flowing, and the other one is crunched up. So let's get the other side. Put up your elephant trunk, ear on your arm, and now from the waist, I'm moving. I kind of exaggerate my breathing a bit just so that I continue to do it. See, so I go back and forth. Now I'm going to look at the tips of my fingers, which changes my neck position a little. Breathing. Okay, now if I would stand up and do that, the same exact thing, it's much harder. So let's just take a minute or so for those who feel safe and comfortable standing to do it. Same thing, ear on the shoulder and move from your waist. I'm going a little quickly because I want to do several exercises. Other side, let's put the trunk up again. Keep that ear on the shoulder. If you move it off, you're not getting the same effect. So this is really helping your balance and getting that oxygen to flow between brain and body. Okay, so that's enough elephants. Now we'll do another animal called the owl. Okay, here, you know how your shoulders are just hard rocks. Okay, so I am going to take like this, these pinchers, and I'm going to grab this muscle. Like right at the clavicle goes my thumb, and then I can feel this muscle. We love it when someone massages us, and I often let them massage each other in class. But today, we're just going to go like this. I've got my hand ready here to squeeze. I go like this. Inhale. I look at my hand and squeeze the muscle. I continue squeezing, and I go like this. I look over my shoulder. As far as I can look, I'm still squeezing. I'm even having my eyes stretch and look that direction. Okay, now I'm done with that one. I'm going to do another one. Try it again. Inhale, squeeze that muscle, and exhale, making the sound of an owl. I'm turning my head as far as I can. Okay, we'll just do two. I usually do three, but we'll do two. Feel the difference. Notice the difference between the two sides. We better do the other side. Okay, get your hand in position on that muscle, ready to squeeze. Inhale, now squeeze. I'm looking over my other shoulder. Exhaling, stretching my eyes, looking too. Okay, now I'm relaxing my squeeze. One more. Inhale. Okay, now let's see how we feel. Let's see if it kind of feels easy to turn our heads. I think both the elephant and the owl are going to just keep the oxygen energy flowing up there, keeping that strong connection between the brain and body. Okay, now the next one is going to be the cross crawl. So I guess I'll start sitting and then we'll stand. Get this a little better, I think. So what I'm going to do is lift up my left leg and touch it with my right hand, and then switch to the other side. This is not for the people that are sitting. This is fine to do it this way. Okay, and then I'm going to switch and say elbow and a lot of different things once we get going. But now let those who can, let's stand. Let me see if I can get a good place for this. Okay, we can start by just marching. It doesn't have to be fast, just a regular march. Breathing. Standing up straight. Okay, now I'm going to switch, and when it comes up, I'm going to touch the opposite knee. Okay, this one is getting my right and left brain to work together at the same time, which is, of course, very helpful for anything you want to do. And I might talk more about that later. Okay, I'm going to switch to elbow. If you can't make it all the way down to your knee, just in that direction. So you would have to lift your leg higher to actually have your elbow contact. So that's how you can do it to your ability. Okay, now I'm going to do soles of the feet. Can't really see my feet, I don't think, but I'm touching the soles, the bottom of each foot, opposite. And then there's just so many variations on this one. I'm touching the sole, and then I'm putting my arm straight up. See, so this is more vigorous now. Breathing. Okay. Now would be a progressive challenge. I would do this. Okay, let's just do the regular cross crawl. And notice where your eyes are when you're doing the cross crawl. You have found and are used to a comfortable place where you keep your eyes when you move. Okay, now let's put our eyes in another place. I'm going to look up to the right while I do this. You may have to slow down a little. I think I'll switch to elbow too. Breathing. Okay, now I'm going to look down to the left while I do this. Okay, I could walk, but you know, on a little Zoom screen, I can't. And then you wouldn't hear me. Okay, now I'm going to look up to the left. Every time your eyes change position, your whole vestibular system and everything has to adjust. I'm doing the soles of the feet now. I just keep switching so that I become integrated no matter what kind of an activity I do. Okay, so that one can be done sitting or standing. Another thing I do with that one sometimes, got a little out of breath, is to do those movements, and then maybe I have to carry on a conversation with somebody. Maybe I have to count backwards by threes. In other words, like this, 100, 97. See, I'm doing a cognitive task while I'm doing the movement. So there's all kinds of combinations and variations that we keep adding to the activity to keep you challenged. Okay, now this is kind of another fun one. just for, so we were doing the crossover all this time. Okay, just to switch things up, and I hope I can do this. I'm going to go on the same side. I'm just doing the same thing, lifting my arm and leg. So used to going on different sides. Okay, so this is kind of new. I don't usually go on the same side. Okay, I'm going to hit the knee on the same side. Okay, now we're going back to the other way. See, so you have to think, and this kind of thinking and learning is what helps bring up your focusing ability. Sometimes I think that regular exercises where, let's say I'm lifting a weight like this, boom, 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 that gets so boring. But when you add all this other stuff with your senses and your mind and body together, you're just working everything. So at the end, you become so focused and just in your body. So Laurel, how are we doing on time?
Doing great. We still have some time for a couple more exercises. So
All
we'll
right.
keep on going.
All right.
Thank you.
Now this one, this is a whole body. So first of all, you won't be able to see everything, but I'll talk you through it. I'm going to go up and down on my toes. Okay, just do that a couple times. Keep doing that. Now I'm going to add, when I go up on my toes, my eyes go up. When I come down, my eyes go down. So toes up, eyes up. Okay, now the third thing we're going to add, toes up, eyes up, and breathe in. Then feet down, eyes down, breathe out. So just try that. You're coordinating all this together. You kind of rock on your feet a little, and you go through your whole foot when you come down. If you feel a little shaky when you first do it. And now sometimes I do this, one hand on the belly button and one hand on the chin, and do it. This is connecting up some of the acupuncture points. Same, breathe in, eyes up, breathe out, coming down. Now I'm going to switch hands. Concentrate and breathe. You're probably noticing when you first started, everything was a little shaky and your feet were even shaky. And after you do it for a while, now let's just stop, stand on your feet, and notice how you feel. I feel much more solid and grounded having done this. Yep, so that one I call toes and eyes. And there's some other ones that you do that same type of thing, holding some different points. And those kind of balance and hook up the energy and make all the connections. Okay, well, that's kind of all I planned, Laura, but I still could do more if you want. What do you think?
Yeah, we have time for a little bit more if you're
Okay.
up for it.
All right. Some of the exercises do require a partner, and I'm not doing any of those because I don't know if you all have partners, so I'm going to skip those. Let's see. Okay, this is kind of a funny one. It's called the bull and the rabbit. We can do this sitting down. Here's the rabbit, and here's the bull. See the bull horns and the rabbit. So I bring my hands back to my shoulder and put out the bull and the rabbit. Now I come back and I switch. Now the rabbit's on the other side and the bull's on that side. I'm back. Switch again. I'm back. Rabbit on the other side. Breathing. Notice how you might tend to hold your breath. So, okay, I'm switching now. I'm going out twice with each one. You could go once or twice. Okay, so that's the bull and the rabbit. I've got one that I'm going to try to do here that is, if people are real active and we kind of get in more of an aerobic phase, we do this. Sit down in the chair, cross your ankles. Now I take my hands like this. They're back to back with my thumbs down. I'm going to take my hand and put them now palm to palm with my hands down. I have crossed my hands. I don't know if you can see that. Interlace my fingers, and then I bring them in like this and put that on my heart. Okay, I'll show that again because people do get kind of pretzel in doing this. Hands back to back. Now my hands are palm to palm. Look to see that your thumbs are down. Interlace the fingers and bring it like this. Sometimes this takes people a while to get this one. If you're having trouble, I would suggest you just cross your hands like this, and that will be fine. This is the proper way, let's say. Okay, so now what I do, this is a rest and relaxation one, because when you do a lot of activities, you want to take time for your brain body to integrate them and process them just into yourself. And doing this does it. Close your eyes now and just breathe deeply for maybe 40 seconds or so. I'll tell us when we're done. Your hands are on your heart, your feet are crossed. You're not thinking about anything else, you're just listening to yourself breathe. Okay, now I'm going to uncross everything. I have my feet flat on the floor, and my fingertips are together, and my thumb making that kind of a shape, and I relax that on my lap. I'll put it so you can see. And now I continue, my eyes are closed. I'm going to breathe again, maybe another 40 seconds or so. I have my attention on my fingertips, and I'm just breathing, allowing everything we did, all those activities, cross crawl, everything is being integrated into ourself. Okay, let's uncross everything and let's tune in. Let's notice how we feel. I feel completely here. My mind is not on anything else. I'm completely in my body. I feel very grounded and ready to continue to do more activities. This is an interesting exercise activity called Connect the Circuits, not circus, but circuits. We're connecting all the circuits in the body so that the energy blends and just flows real nicely through everything. So the first part again was cross your ankles, cross your wrists and fingers like that. Breathe deeply about 45 seconds, 40 seconds, or really you'll know when it's time to move on depending how much you need it. Second, uncross everything, feet flat on the floor and fingertips together. Relaxed and continue the breathing. And it just gets you completely centered, completely present. I've done this with kids even, one teenage boy in particular. Oh God, why do I have to do that activity? I don't want to do that. I said, well, let's just try it. And then I want you to tell me how you feel after. So he did it. And I said, how do you feel now? And he said, I'm not angry. So he was a pretty angry, at-risk teen, and doing this activity just settled him down and calmed him down. And this is a good one just to remember to use anytime in your life when things get emotionally difficult. You could just stop and connect the circuits. And in the classes, I have several activities that are just low-key, relaxed, in order to integrate the more high-powered exercises that we've just done. Okay, so how about that?
So
For,
good. Yeah, we can move on. I want to
all
let you
right.
know the rabbit and the bull was so difficult for me. That was hard. That was
Yeah,
really difficult. Even
I
after
know.
we moved on, I tried to keep practicing it. And I was like, this is very difficult. But you know,
Yeah,
it's those movements that you don't necessarily do on a daily basis.
right.
It's very difficult to try and hone in on those movements. I feel like I spend so much of my time typing on a keyboard, sitting in the
Yeah,
same position with
well,
my
that's it.
hands moving, you know, in the same way, that integrating these different movements, it's like I don't ever really do this.
Yeah, and here's a funny thing. One time I had one of the head of the nursing at the University of Hawaii come to one of the classes, and she was going to watch and observe. I said, well, you know, anyone who comes to the class, I sort of say you have to participate, because I could pull anyone off the street and they'd all improve from doing these exercises. So she did them, and she said just what you did say. She said, oh, God, I couldn't believe how much trouble I had. See, because the idea is this is stuff that you don't usually do, and you have to really focus with your mind in order to do it, and you have to, you know, concentrate and just learn the new activity. It's easy to go rabbit, 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 but to switch it back and forth, you know, kind of like when we did the cross crawl, and then I had to do one-sided. You know, switch from thing to thing. It's like you really have to get in your body and be aware of what's going on. So good. Thanks for that feedback, Laurel.
Absolutely. So I'll move the slide along.
Okay. So this is a picture of the book, and the way I kind of did that, I have in there each exercise. There's like a big color picture, and it's on the whole page, and it says, why should we even do this exercise? For instance, this owl, ooh, you know, why should we do that? So it describes, you know, the oxygen going from brain to body. So everyone says, why do we do it and how do we do it? So it's got step by step of why and how for each exercise. Then, just in case somebody is mixed up and still doesn't really understand it, I have made 60 videos of each exercise, one video per exercise. So you can, once you buy the book, you can go online and view, like, let's say, oh, I don't remember that. Oh, I think I'll go see the video. So you could go there and see me doing the owl in a video, just, you know, 1-2 minutes of it. So there are a lot, really short little videos of each individual exercise. It's so easy to use that book. That's, I think, why it won a few awards. It's just great. And it's affordable and award-winning. So anyway, that's the book, and it's in Spanish too, for anybody who would like to have it in that language. Also, I just want to mention the website. You can push a button for Spanish. I think everybody's website is probably like that now, but anyway, please, the next one. So as we progressed over the years, we understood that music was very important for exercising for senior citizens and for Alzheimer's people, really. So my husband is a musician, so he came to the class a lot and came with his guitar. We had live music, and he made. I wrote a manual how to use music in your class, when to use it, how to use it, and all that. And then he has original songs which we sang, and the Alzheimer's people sang it. In fact, one time we were in Costco and ran into one of the Alzheimer's clients, and she recognized us and started singing the song, if you can believe it. So anyway, the songs are great. And then we took familiar oldies and put new words to them. Like I've been working on the railroad, like I've been working on my balance, like that. And so we have some cool songs that are on the website that you can use or you don't have to. I've used it, taught it many times without, but if I can get him to come, then we do it. So music is good. Next. And then for the people who wanted to be group leaders, I made 9 training videos that you kind of use along with the book. There's a mentor training, just 9 different videos that are available that help you become a group leader. And this, I think, is important for this audience today. Over on the right, the 2 manuals. We taught it at an adult daycare center. We taught the Alzheimer's people in an adult daycare center. And people always ask me for actual lesson plans. So these 2 manuals have 10 weeks of lessons, the hour-long lesson, exactly what I did each time, what music I used, and there are new exercises that aren't even in the book that I developed after for this particular class. So this, if you really wanted, these are perfect manuals for the Alzheimer's population. And the one is low to mid functioning, and the other one is mid to high functioning. So it's actually 10 weeks of hour-long lesson plans. You could hop right in and teach it right away if you're used to teaching seniors. Okay, next. Oh, we're already up here. So the Gandhi farewell, this is something that we do at the end of each class. So you're gonna see me. So what I'd like you to do is, when I say I offer you peace, you say I offer you peace. So you copy what I say, copy the movements, and repeat the words. And this Gandhi, as we all know him, he's the one that made this up, this poem. I offer you peace. So you're all saying, I offer you peace. I offer you friendship. My hands open in front. I touch my heart. I offer you love. I hear your needs. I see your beauty. I feel your feelings. I put my hand straight up and my other hand on my heart. My power comes from a higher source. You repeat that. My power comes from a higher source. Put my hands together and bow a little. I honor that source in you. And then we all hold hands. Let's work together. So that's what we do at the end of every class. We say that to stay connected until our next class. The Gandhi farewell. That's in the book too, if you like it. So I think that's it. Well, it's time for the questions.
Right
up your day.
Anyway, that's what we call the singing logo.
All right, wonderful. Well, I had so much fun doing that. I hope that everyone else really enjoyed that. From the comments, everyone seems really happy. So to learn more, I have not only AFA's information, but I also have here Karen's website as well as her email. So you can be in contact with her. I just want to thank you again, Karen. This was great. Definitely appropriate for National Move More Month. So the questions are coming in nearly quicker than I can read them. So to start off, someone is asking if you could name the finger twists and show again how to do that motion.
Did they mean this one?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so I know this is a hard one. It really sometimes takes a while in the class. Okay, so now I have my hands, I'll be like this, I guess. I have my hands back to back with my thumbs down. Okay, then I reach across, now I'm crossing my wrists. My palms are together. My thumbs are still, I haven't switched up like that. Keep them down. My palms are together. Now I interlace. I'm interlacing all the fingers and the thumbs too. Now my thumbs aren't down anymore, but now I've interlaced. And then I kind of come under like this and put them on my heart. It just takes a little practice.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
But then remember I said, if maybe you're arthritic hands or you can't do it that well, you could just go like this. This is what I think this one's doing. When you're like this, and your feet are crossed, there is tension in your body by having your hands like this. There's like tension, but the fact that you're just relaxing and breathing, you're sending a message to your body. Even if I'm tense, I can relax and breathe deeply. See, that's how we learn. And then my body learns that.
Definitely.
If it's like this, it's still good and it still works, but you don't have that tension as you do when you're in this.
And the modifications are really important. So for what works for someone one day might not work the next day. So that's why these modifications are very.
And I know people with arthritis have trouble or wrist issues and stuff, but it's good, and you can just practice.
Definitely. Someone asked a really good question. I think this is great. So how would you get someone with dementia and apathy to do some of these exercises? How would you, motivate in this situation?
Okay, so I'm picturing that it's somebody you're at home with someone, like a relative of yours that you wanted to get. Just how would you get them to motivate? You would just be playful, I think, one thing. Let's say we were doing this one. You could just start out by doing this and maybe, tickle them or something, just go like this, and then say, okay, now let's try something harder. Just little increments of making it more like a game. That's all I can think of. Or let's say the case of the owl, and I've done this before. I could stand behind somebody. There's nobody back there, but I could stand there. They're sitting here, and I'm going to hold this and say, turn your head. Ooh. I might start first by just doing a little massage on these terribly tight muscles. That always relaxes people. That might. And then, you hold this for them. That takes extra time, though. If you're the one teacher in a big group, it's harder. But the fact that they've even come, means that they're somewhat interested. And again, that's why one of the things on my mentor slide was motivation, because each week that mentee gets used to having that person come. And I even say, whoever I pick for the mentors, I say, if you're going to commit to this, somebody's going to look forward to seeing you every time. And really, you have to pretty much commit as much as you can. Then if a mentor doesn't come, I might have one mentor do it with two.
Yeah, that's great. Something else that I was thinking for motivation, I think relates to the music, is that for me, I listen to music whenever I work out, whenever I run, and that kind of propels me to do the things that I don't really want to do. So incorporating some of the music that Move with Balance has, or like if the person that you're caring for, their favorite songs are Elvis songs, then we're going to play some Elvis and keep it light and keep it fun. And that you're also, kind of evoking those memories, invoking those fun times playing Elvis.
That's right. And that's why we have those oldies too, those familiar oldies.
Yeah.
Another thing that we started at the daycare, which is really good. I set up tables where as people came in, they colored. I had paint or, and they all together at a table were chit-chatting and talking and coloring with their mentor. And then after everyone got in, I waited maybe 5 or 10 minutes after the start time when they're all there. And then I'd say, okay, let's move over to the chairs or the place for the class. See, that way, you know how when people sometimes come in late and then they missed stuff. So I gave that little socializing, really fun, relaxing coloring time. And then we all moved over to the actual class. And that really was good.
Yeah, definitely. And just one other thing that I want to add that I just thought of is, kind of just like the idea of, adaptability as well, that maybe the first time you do this, you do one movement for 2 minutes and that's all. And a week you start it again and then you can do 2 movements. Then maybe by week 3, you only go back to that 1 movement again. But slowly incorporating things that also work best for your person. So finding that delicate space that works for you, whatever that may look like. And it's all, a trial and error process as well. So might not work for a little bit and then it does. So just really, being adaptable and flexible in how we're, providing care, I think is a really good point.
And then remembering kind of the philosophy, which is it's important to do new learning with your brain body. So this new learning is helping, and that you're not going to be good at it. So don't expect to be good. And it's funny how certain people, and I'm just going to say especially men, this is a little joke, but they don't like to do things unless they're good at it. And so I really have to tell them that.
It's okay to get things wrong sometimes. It's okay.
Yeah, and if you look a little clumsy, but you do it a while and then you get better. Even that, I bet a lot of people noticed with the foot one where I had you going up and down on your foot and the eyes. The beginning you thought, I can't coordinate this. But by the time you do it for a while, it flows in.
Absolutely. We have someone who mentioned if we're doing other kinds of exercises and want to keep our minds focused so we don't just go off in our minds and are being mindful, how can we add something ourselves to keep us focused and keep ourselves mindful in this moment?
I assume they're talking about other regular type exercises, not Move with Balance. I don't know. Are they? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I think there's one exercise in the book that I call the one-legged conversation. So just like we did this one, if you ever tried standing on one leg and having a conversation with somebody, you're already staying up on one leg, but at the same time, you're doing a cognitive skill talking. or maybe it's something with listening, or I might put a little eye chart over on the side of the room, and they have to read an eye chart while they're standing there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just having your mind on something like talking, or not just empty talking, but something that you've set up, or reading, or something like that while you do it, you've got your mind engaged at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also, like you did the Gandhi farewell, that's movement and affirmations
Yeah,
throughout. So your movements are really reflecting
yeah,
your feelings and affirmations throughout.
yeah.
So, yeah,
It's
wonderful.
like
So,
that. It's combining the movement with the cognitive, and that's why Dr. Pang liked this class, because
mhm,
he thought, that was kind of innovative and unusual, and it is. But I don't know every balance in senior citizen class, but I think that
mhm.
is good.
Absolutely. So we have time for one more question. This was someone asking that how would you support people in the later stages of dementia who aren't able to do some of these things or become frustrated?
Yeah, you just have to uh, do it very easily and slowly, and maybe like I had showed you, you hold the muscle for the owl, even the elephant. If somebody were sitting here like this and they didn't know what to do, I could come behind them and hold their body like this and move them. You just have to spend more time moving them, and maybe there were some things in the book that they couldn't even do, but
Mm-hmm,
I think the music would be great for them, having that on all the time, you know, and and even these, making them fun,
mm-hmm.
you know. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So for the questions that we're unable to answer, I recommend that I have right under here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. It's Move with Balance. People who ask, the email is right here, KP at Giving Back Mentoring. So you'll be able to email right here. And then we do have all of AFA's resources. You'll be getting an email from me thanking you and giving you information for Karen and her program and her email as well. So if there's anything that we can answer for you, just please feel free to let us know. Before we end, I just want to encourage you all to sign up for our next Care Connection. This one is also going to be another fun one. This is May 12th from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to be having Dr. Cindy Bautista Thomas, and she's a licensed clinical social worker, a podcast host, yoga instructor, mindfulness facilitator, and author. And she's going to lead us in a care connection where we're going to talk about self care and do a little bit of chair yoga too. So this one's going to be very fun as well. So I really hope to see you all there. So with that, I really want to thank you again so much, Karen. This was great. I loved it. I hope you all who attended it loved it as much as I did. And to all of our wonderful attendees, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being a part of our wonderful AFA community. And of course, please feel free to reach out to us. So
yeah.
thank you all so much.
And thank you for having me, and thanks for everyone who came. And I hope everyone feels a little bit better.
Yeah, let's go into the next part of our day a little bit more mindful, a little less tight. I feel like we can move a little bit better. And thank you all so much. So I look forward to seeing you all next time, May 12th. All right, thank you
Okay,
all. Bye.
bye.